go. Honey, I am live, just so you know. All right. Nobody's here yet because I broke something somewhere. Right. I can see myself. That's a good start. Hello, everybody. Oh. Let me just turn off that. Okay. Hi, Tracy. I now have it up next to me. I had a bit of an issue. I pre-did that thing saying it's upcoming and then it didn't work. So, lucky us. Knuckles is here, aren't you, Knuckles? In my way, as always. You can't sit there. You can't sit there. Go on. Morning, Amanda. It's still sore. I tried to do stuff today. It's still not better, so still no sewing. What? Don't stare at me like that. Knuckles is being very needy this morning, aren't you? Go on, go away. No, don't knock the camera out. Jesus. Ah. All right. Morning, Elle and Christine. All right, so today, this video is mainly because a lot of you guys have questions about selling stuff. So we're mainly concentrating on bags today, obviously, but we can talk about, like, it's relevant to if you make dog collars or if you anything you hand make. Hello, everybody. Hi, Joy. Hi, Michelle, Rosa, Sin, Julie. We're all over this. It is 9 a.m. here today. I try and always do my lives around 9. I probably should have started at 9:30. Hubby's gonna come right here and make a coffee very soon, I think, because he starts at 9:30 today instead of 9. So that was my fault. So he'll just pop in. My wrist is still quite sore. Oh, my shoulder just popped. Did you hear that? That was weird. Anyway, it's still not good. Like, I can move my fingers. It's twisting my wrist like this that hurts. I've hurt like in here, but on this wrist. So like if I do that, it hurts. So it's still in the sling thing. I was hoping, I woke up this morning and I moved it. I'm like, yes, it's fixed, but it's not. It lied to me and then it twanged and I actually can't tie my hair up. So I straightened it as like a, instead of, because I can hold a brush and do this. I just can't do these ones. And that is how you tie up a hair tie, because I learned that the hard way and heard it some more. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. All right, so this Q&A, I'm actually just going to answer questions that you have. So anything to do with selling your stuff or how you want to start or where you should sell, everything like that, I'll let you ask the questions and then I will answer the way I did it. Now, obviously, my way is not the only way to do stuff, but it's how I started sewing and selling and all that. And it's what I have found works. So yeah, any questions that you have, that is what we're here for. My best seller is wallets. Everybody wants wallets. A specific wallet, I have sold more NCWs than anything, but that was before I started making strumpet. I now mainly make strumpet and wench wallets because they are my patterns. I make what I like. That's fine. I do find a lot of older people love wench wallets. I have sold quite a few very recently, like it's still a new pattern, but I have sold quite a few wench wallets. People love that they can pick their favorite color and then their favorite hardware and you just make a wallet and they don't take that long. So currently, wenches have been selling more than anything, but overall, since I first started selling, it was NCWs because I obviously didn't make those patterns until recently. I do sell a lot of strumpets as well. So pretty much when they go up on the website, they're kind of just gone again. Whippersnappers are a close second, mainly because I know a lot of people in the horse community and they are great for horse riding. So those are probably my best sellers. How did I decide what pattern to start with? The first bag I ever sold was Ethel by Swoon, which is their free pattern. I used to just make them out of all fabric. And Knuckles, go away, mate. You can't knock the camera. Get on the couch. Right, sorry. He's going to knock the camera over because it's got cords so that we don't run out of battery power on my phone. So Ethel was the first bag that I made. I hacked it to put a zipper at the top and I sold several of those. I was just selling for friends, and then I got approached by a lady that had like a news agency, and she bought like a bunch at wholesale prices, and that's where I kind of started getting bigger. And that was the first one I decided. And then obviously NCW, because when I started selling it was a few years ago. I am starting out. Any advice is appreciated. How do you determine pricing? So the easiest way to determine pricing is triple the amount that it costs for your hardware and all your supplies. So you get it all laid out, you get a calculator, and you work out how much. So if you use 75 centimeters and it's $25 a meter, you work out that. And then you get all of it, and then you triple it. The problem with that theory is, you want to say goodbye? You want to come and say hello and say goodbye?
From a distance. Yeah.
Oh, here. You're not on camera now.
Ah, love you, hon.
Love you. Mwah.
Have a great day.
He's shy. He doesn't like cameras.
No.
Bye, honey.
Bye. Hope everybody's well.
He's so cute. Where was I? Right, pricing. So, the easiest way, I know, he's so cute. He's so shy though. Easiest way to determine pricing, triple the amount of the cost. The problem with that theory is if, depending on where you live, people won't want to pay that. So then you'd have to have a website, and then that's more money and more effort. So kind of grade where you live to know if people can afford you. Now, that's not to say that you have to bend your prices. If you want to be $200 for a handbag, so be it. But just know that your clientele will be fewer and farther in between. So you need to work out if you want to do like lots of bags at a cheaper price or fewer bags at the higher price. It doesn't matter which one you are. Like Louis Vuitton, for example, they're thousands of dollars, but people still buy them. Or you could be, you know, lower end stuff. It depends on where you live and that. But the easiest baseline is triple the amount of your supplies, not including your sewing machine and thread. That's kind of in there. Right. How much inventory do I keep? Okay, so when I started sewing, I used to do markets and a lot of markets. So I would just sew all week to get as much stock as I can and take it to the market, because you never know what will sell. So some weeks I would sell all the animal stuff, and so I'd replenish animals, and then suddenly everybody wants florals. So I do try and have, like, even if I'm doing the one bag, so let's pretend I just did vixens. I would have some superheroes, I'd have some florals, I'd have some all vinyls, because some people like a classier looking bag. I'd have some weird obscure stuff like coffee bag or jelly beans or something weird, because you've always got a weird customer. There's always at least one. And so you could just do one bag and one wallet and have them as sets, but you just do a really wide amount of like fabric options. So when I did markets, I had as much stock as humanly possible. Now I have less stock on hand because I find that custom orders are a really big seller for me. People want what they want, and they love that they can come to me and get it. So I have, if you look on my website, there's less stock on hand, and then I have a custom orders section. So I don't have as much because I don't do markets, and at the present time, I don't have a lot of space to store a lot of stock. So I've got a lot of wallets made up at the moment. I've got a whole bunch of different ones. I think I still have one NCW. I've got a couple of strumpets, a couple of wenches, and then a couple of stuff from other people. So there's like a coffin wallet and the Pocket Pal and some from KM Designs, the Bender 2.0. So I have a wide variety of wallets because they are my biggest seller. And because they're small, I can keep a few of them on hand and it's just one little tub. So depending on what you want to do will depend on how much stock you have. You've also all noticed that I've started writing patterns. That takes up a lot of my time, which is less time to be sewing for the website. So it's all, but in saying that, I am also going to try and get more stock up because people have started buying for Christmas now because they are very, very money conscious. So they want to have enough presents at Christmas, but because of the COVID situation, people have started buying now. So you want to start doing your stock now for Christmas. Right, next question. I sell at local craftswares. I need to know how to get my bags elsewhere. Okay, so Etsy. I am on the fence about Etsy. I contemplated going to Etsy to sell my stuff. The reason I did a website instead is because I heard from people that the cost of Etsy was going up and up and up, so they take more of a percentage and they charge you to put it on their website. The pros of Etsy is if you're not computer literate and you don't want to learn, you can just upload a thing, say how much it is, and off you go. The reason I don't like Etsy is if you're trying to promote your bag, let's say on Facebook, and you put a link and people click on it, if as soon as they continue scrolling down, at the bottom are all other people's bags. So you might like that better, and then you lose that customer because they're looking at other people's stuff. Whereas on my website, you can only see my stuff. You can't see anybody else's. You can scroll through and go, oh, I like that bag better, but it's still always mine. So that's why I wanted a website. And this was before supplies and before patterns and everything. I wanted a website. I also wanted to be able to have Afterpay. Probably 80% of my sales that don't include a pattern are Afterpaid. So that's supplies, that's custom bags, that's stock on hand, that's everything. Most of my stuff, people pay with Afterpay because it's a more manageable way to buy something. And I could have Afterpay on my website. So that's why I did that. I originally got my clientele from doing markets. So even depending on if you've got a gazebo and stuff, it might be worth, if you're going to start, get a website and do markets to get your base clientele and get your name out there so that people know that you are local and make current bags. So Afterpay is kind of like lay-by, but you get it up front. In Australia, Afterpay is big. It might be the same as ZipPay or OpenPay, or I think PayPal's now bought out a version. Yeah, Puppy's back. Puppy is very needy and gets in my face all day, don't ya? All right, so that's that question, Okay, Amanda, I've just started selling now, but a few that I've made aren't quite perfect. For example, my mini NCW, the magnetic step is slightly off. I would sell that, but you sell it as a second. If you're not happy with it, here's another thing. If you look at it and you go, I would buy that, then it's fine. If you look at it and go, that's crooked, you can sell it for a cheaper price so that you don't waste the rest of your stuff, but then you just make it cheaper and make it very aware and known in the description that there is no refunds on your seconds, and then state exactly what's wrong with it. So you could put seconds, NCW wallet, and then in the description you give people, magnet is slightly off. As you can see, there are no refunds for this item as it is already discounted, and you've stated everything that's wrong with it. If they get it and it's mangled and filthy and you didn't write that, they have a right to a refund. But if you've already said very clearly what's wrong with it and you can't have a refund, then sell it off cheaper because it is slightly dodgy, for lack of a better word. Okay, you sell at local craft fairs and you want to know where to sell them elsewhere. You can approach places. So places like, not like Spend Less Shoes, not like a chain store, but an independent store that does either clothing or shoes or funky knickknacks. You could contact them. You could go in and be like, hello, I would like to offer to sell my bags in your store, and then they would get a commission or a percentage. So you would need to go in working out how much you're willing to give them per bag, and then if you want to tack that money on top or take it out of your profits. So if this bag's $80 from me, let's say I have this bag and I sell it for $80 on my website. Do I want to sell it for $80 in their shop and I will get less, or do I want to make it $85 and, you know, depending on how much the person would want would be how to do that. But you could definitely just contact local people. Everybody knows someone. Everybody knows someone who has a shop. So maybe you could ask your friends if they have people that have a shop or might be willing to have that or whatever. A website is a really good place. My website is through Shopify. It's pretty easy to set up. Like, it doesn't take very long at all. And the payments are pretty self-explanatory how to set it up as well. So I've got PayPal, credit card, and Afterpay, but I can add more if I want to. I could have OpenPay and ZipPay and all those other ones. But in Australia, Afterpay is the most common. But you can set up pretty much whatever you want. So I like my website. You can also go through, there's like billions of different places that do websites, but you just want to make sure if you want to offer like a payment service like Afterpay, you want to make sure that wherever you're going, that particular place does it. That's all. All right. Who is my target market? My target market are people between the ages of 20 and 60. Now that's a really broad market, but all my funky kind of like little clutches, bum bags, whippersnappers are all for kind of the younger crowd. I find a lot of younger people don't use handbags as often. They like more crossbody, smaller bags. And then all my handbags and baby bags and all that are kind of middle-aged and up. So I cater to a really broad range, which is why you see me do things from, you know, killer Care Bear all the way up to like solid vinyl bags, because I personally find that the younger people want the funky stuff and the older people want the classier stuff. So I do a full range of everything in between. I do a lot of baby bags. Baby bags is another one of my pretty big sellers. They do cost a lot more, but people, mums and or sisters will buy baby bags when their people are having a baby, because they like that they can have a custom one that nobody else has seen. So I have a broad target audience. You can definitely bring that down. You could just have smaller items. So everything in your store could be under $50, and you could do like a lot of themed stuff so that you get kind of, you know, the fandom crowds and stuff like that. It just depends on what you like to make. Don't make things you hate. All right. I'm thinking about the holiday season and planning to make up a bunch of small, quick things for that. That is a good idea. Clutches, small crossbodies, wallets. These are all things that I feel in this particular target, or this economic crisis, I suppose you could call it, people are more likely to be able to afford. People may not be able to afford a $100 bag, but they can afford a $40 wallet for a Christmas gift for their friend. So be conscious of what's going on around you in the world. Like, we're still semi in lockdown. The state above us is in lockdown probably for the next month. So because they're in lockdown, they can't work, they don't have money, which means they won't have as much at Christmas. So just be conscious about that. But smaller items, people are more likely to buy. Yeah. What is Afterpay? I answered that one. Displaying is a problem for you. Okay, so if you go to a market and you're going to do a market, build up. Don't have everything flat on a table. People will just walk past it. I don't know why, but they do. They're not interested in scanning a table. If you build up, and you don't have to have necessarily fancy things. You could literally get a cardboard box and drape some fabric on it and then stick a bag on top. If you build up, it creates more of an eyesore, which means people are more likely to look at your stuff. Whereas if you just have everything laid out flat on the table, it's not as interesting to look at. So people won't pay enough attention. They might love something on your table, but they're not looking at it. So you want to build up. So on my display that I used to do, my husband helped me, but basically we got some chain, some cheap chain, and some like broomsticks, like wooden dowel, and we put screws in it and hung chain, and I had them three rungs, and I had them decently apart so that I could clip stuff to them, and then I hung it on the side of the gazebo. So that whole wall is now interesting to look at. It's not just an empty open wall where they can see the next person's stuff. So you want to create your own space where people want to go in and want to be intrigued. So up instead of flat is the simplest thing. And cardboard boxes you can usually get for free from any shop anywhere because they just put them in a recycle bin anyway. So cardboard boxes, fabric, which you would all have because you're all handmade people, and then off you go. And the best tablecloth that you can use is like cheap, stretchy velvet because it doesn't crease, it hangs nicely, and it always covers everything with minimal wrinkles. Okay. Any handy hits on taking photos? I suck at photos. Not even gonna lie. I'm really, really bad at it. What I have done to get better is I have, it's like a tripod. You can buy them on eBay. They're a tripod and they've got clips and a white piece of plastic, like flexible plastic. And I now just sit my stuff on there, and I bought like a cheap ring light, and I hold it in one hand. Ow, don't do that to my wrist. Hold it in one hand and then take a photo with the other one. And then I'm on a Samsung phone, so Android, and it's got editing software in the phone. So I don't use like a fancy camera. I can't use, nor do I have Photoshop or anything like that. I just use what's in my phone because you can edit contrast and brightness and stuff like that. So you just play around with it until it looks like it does in front of you. And that's all I do. The white background, any kind of background is best rather than just on a table, I find personally. Or if you have a really nice garden, get a rock, get like a flat topped rock and make that your new photo station and always do them in the same spot. That would be lovely. I don't have that. This is a rental. It's not worth my time. So that's why I do the white background. But the ring light, which you can get from Kmart or I assume Walmart in America, I don't know. But just like a big ring light is what I have found is easiest. And then you just hold the phone right next to it. And that's how I got better. For custom orders, what is the turnaround expectation you set to deliver the bag? When do you expect payment for the custom orders? All right, so let's just do all custom order stuff. All custom orders through me must be paid in full upfront. The reason is I have been caught out several times, mainly through friends, that they order it and they absolutely want it, and then by the time you've made it, oh, I haven't got the money this week, can you wait till next week? Oh, a bill come up, can you wait till the week after? I don't like chasing my money. I do not have time to chase my money. Therefore, all orders now must be paid upfront in full. Otherwise, I'm not bothering. I've also had people, I make it and then they go, oh, I don't want it anymore, but they forgot to tell me. So now I've made a custom thing. Sometimes you can sell it, but if they wanted like an embroidered name on it, you've just wrecked the whole thing because they've changed their mind. So, always upfront in full. Now, depending on if you still work as well as sew or if sewing is your full-time job, I tend to give a 2-week turnaround. Now, usually I make it in about 3 or 4 days, but I give 2 weeks in case something happens, like my wrist, or, you know, you have appointments, or your kid gets sick, or whatever. So I give 2 weeks, and then I say in my terms and conditions, it is there is possibly a longer wait time towards Christmas due to the influx in orders. So, and I also cut myself off. I turned down, I think it was 17 custom orders last year. They all come to me the week before Christmas and are like, oh my God, I want a custom bag. The answer is no. Don't put that pressure on yourself. You also need to enjoy your Christmas. You have food and your own presents to plan and all that kind of stuff. So I did a very early cutoff. I pretty much made no extra anything for the whole of December. I had already cut it off in November for custom orders. They could order something on my website. If I had free time, I made something extra for the website, but in no way, shape or form was I doing a custom order a week before Christmas, because I can guarantee you it wouldn't have got to you, and then you get the abusive emails that are not worth it. It's not your fault if the postage service is slower. I can't help that, that's out of my control. I could make the bag in the same day and send it, but a week before Christmas, it's probably not getting there. So just stick to your guns on that one. When making non-custom orders, do you only make patterns and fabrics that you like? I only really own fabric that I like. I'm lucky, I like a lot of stuff. Or if I'm in a shop, if I go spy and something catches my eye, it may not be my style, but if I can envision it in a bag, I will buy it because somebody else will like it eventually down the track. With everything, I've made some weird custom orders, but the customers loved it. Who am I to complain? I didn't hate them. They were just like something that I personally wouldn't have put together, but they loved it. And so everybody will buy everything eventually. You've just got to find that right final customer. But I'm not big on florals, but you do notice that I do have quite a lot of florals because a large chunk of my custom orders are florals because everybody else likes them, and that's fine. I have lots of animals. I do a lot of unicorns and dinosaurs for like boys' backpacks and stuff. People like what they like. Try and have an open mind and a broad range would be my suggestion. Unless you only want to target, like I could run my whole business of just doing licensed fabric, but that's not as much fun and only like a chunk of the world likes it. So you try and do a broad range of everything. How much of each fabric do I buy? If I'm not buying for a person, I will buy 1 meter. Generally speaking, 1 meter will get the outside accents of a bag and a matching wallet. Mostly. Obviously, this is dependent on what pattern, but when I'm buying to shove in my cupboard, I always buy 1 meter. If there's like a little bit left over, you could do it in a wristlet. If you don't quite have enough to do everything you want, you just do like the main accent panels and then use like a matching color for the rest of the bits that you can't get to. But 1 meter will be, like if I'm just on shopping, it's always 1 meter. And then it sits in the cupboard, unless it's 150 wide. So if you're getting like the wide custom designed fabrics from like Lula Eve or Missy Rose or whoever, I will get 1/2 meter. I will just get 1 piece and I will get what I can out of it and then that's it. 2 meters does work, but I find that I am stuck with the fabric a lot longer. I like to use a fabric maybe twice and then never again because I'm impatient, I guess is what that is. So I like to just use it, make a beautiful set, and then move on. If there's leftovers, I will do clutches or a second wallet or something like that. But I have a lot of fabric. I have like 200 pieces of fabric. I am trying very hard to get them down, and I'm trying very hard not to buy stuff, but my local fabric shop had a sale of half-price fabric, and they had cool dragon stuff. So I bought 1 meter of each of them. They had more, but I was trying to contain myself. So I bought 1 meter because I know 1 meter will do the inside of a trollop and a wallet, or the outside of something and I could embroider on it. But yes. How do I get started selling hardware and supplies? I kept seeing everybody going on about waterproof canvas and I wanted some. And nowhere in Australia sold it. So I decided to get it. It took me like 3 days, but I found some. I found a supplier. And I bought in a whole bunch of colors of just waterproof canvas. This was after I started doing videos because COVID had me bored because nobody was buying bags. So I started doing videos on YouTube and then I went, I want to try this because everybody keeps going on about it and kept asking me about waterproof canvas. So I got it in and it sold out in like 7 hours. So I got in more and more. And then I went, oh, I need hardware. And then I'm like, I should buy a little bit more and sell that too for the people that want that. And it escalated and you should see my wall of stuff now. There's a lot. I'm excessive. I've got more stuff that I want to buy. I'm going to get gate rings. I'm gonna get cool like connectors. It's all eventually. I don't have a credit card. I don't buy anything with credit. So everything I buy, I have to have the money first. So like my pattern, you guys were awesome and all bought the trollop pattern. So that money will now go to buying the next lot of hardware. And because I store it in the full 6 colors of hardware, it costs a small fortune to get everything in. So I usually just, every time I do a pattern, I'll get one extra thing. So this time it's probably going to be gate rings because I want to use them. I have a bag in my brain that I want to do. So I just build it slowly. I try not to run out of stuff. You guys will notice that rarely is stuff sold out. I try, once I get to about 3/4 of the way down, I will try and buy more in, but sometimes it doesn't come as quickly as it should. And again, I'm not mad because it's the post and it's just, it is how it is. So I can't force it to get here earlier, but I do usually buy it before you run out. Okay. Where was I up to? What is my go-to clutch? It used to be, what was it? It was the Sunshine, is it Sunshine clutch? The wristlet one with the strap from, oh, I'm having a mental blank now. Anyway, I was making the Sunshine wristlet, I think is what it's, there you go, Sunshine wristlet. I was making that. And it started off as a really good seller and then sales just plummeted and nobody wanted them anymore. And so then I did a modified version of the clematis, whereas instead of it being curved, I did it straight and I had 2 connectors to make it a crossbody and a wristlet. And that went really well, but they've dropped off too. So I don't really do many wristlet clutches anymore. I'm trying to think of like a cool one to design, but so far I am uninspired. Therefore, I haven't got one. Most people now, I find a lot of people like floozy because it's not much bigger than a clutch, but it's got a lot more pockets. So I do sell a few floozies. I anticipate that trollop is going to be quite popular. I've got another one cut out. It's got Baby Groot on it. So if you guys are in my Facebook group, you would have seen I made a big baby bag for my friend for her baby shower. The leftover fabric from that and the same design, I've got smaller, and that's going to be a trollop. Because it's a smaller bag, but it's got lots of organization. And people like to be organized these days. We're all very busy. We just like organization. Hence the 7 zippers or 6 zippers or whatever I did. Do a de-stash sale in the group. I did do that once. I did sell half of what I wanted to de-stash and the other half is just sitting in my cupboard. I'll probably just end up using it. I did think about doing a de-stash on my website and do like a put it up prices, and that way I have to weigh it all. I'm just not there yet. It's going to take a lot of time to measure, take photos and weigh it and then stick it up on the website. So I'm kind of avoiding it. Not even going to lie. How do you think shipping is best done? Is free shipping worth it? Do you think it's best to ship from a PO box? Okay, so when I started my website, mine is done on weight and it was annoying. So what I used to do is I used to just add $10 to the price of the bag and have free shipping. And that worked really, really well up until I started doing supplies. I started the supplies with free shipping and it was not working in my favor. So I've lowered the price of stuff and now all my stuff is weight based. All my handbags that I make, I send in a box so it can't get squished and mangled. Now some people do like a dust cover or wrap it in tissue paper and all those kinds of things. My issue with tissue paper, first off, if it gets wet, it's going to bleed into your fabric. So make sure you use white. That is my first thing. I don't put anything around my bags except stick it in a big box because I don't want anything to damage it. I don't make the bags, the drawstring bags, like a dust cover bag. I personally don't use them, therefore I don't give them. I do what I use. So I personally would never use a dust cover bag. so I don't offer them with my bags. I anticipate that my customers want to use the bag. That's why they've picked something cool and custom. But I do ship them in a box. Wallets, usually I will put in a bag and I just roll it over so it's got a little protection. If you are concerned if it's got a twist lock, wrap it in at least like 1 or 2 layers of bubble wrap first so that the twist lock doesn't get damaged. But yeah, generally speaking, I just stick them in a big box. So the extra large post boxes from the post office, I buy them in bulk, and that's what I ship in. I put my personal address because the people I'm shipping to, generally speaking, are like crazy nut people. So I can't anticipate that they're going to come and knock on my door. When I didn't live on base, I allowed pickup from my house because it meant I didn't have to go to the post office and I was being lazy, and that was fine. If you are worried though, definitely get a post box, but I don't have one. I don't anticipate me getting one. I'm a little bit crazy, so good luck to them if they're going to come yell in my face. Not that they would. I've never had somebody yell at me about anything, really. Customer-wise, that is. Alright. When you apply rivets, do you go through both the lining and the outside, or just the outside? Depends on what you're doing. Sorry, I'm choking on my drink. Generally speaking, I just put rivets through the outside. If you are concerned that the outside is not thick enough, take a little piece of base stabilizer and stick it on the inside, and that will give it an extra layer of support. So rivets, generally speaking, I don't put all the way through all the layers, but you can. There's nothing wrong with it. It just means that you'll see the rivets on the inside of the bag, which could look really cool depending on what you're making. Do you provide care instructions with your bags? I do not. If they want to know something, I'm very approachable, so they can just send me a message. Like one person has asked me how to wash their bag. Gentle cycle in a washing machine. Mine are washing machine safe. That is how I wash my personal bags. So all the bags that I've made myself, if they get dirty, I literally just throw them in the washing machine. I have faith enough in my sewing that it won't come apart. You usually have to iron the bag after though. I recommend cold cycle because you don't want the foam to heat. Like hot water is going to make the foam lift away. Then you have to iron it back together. So I always suggest cold, gentle cycle in a washing machine. That's for my stuff. But that's only if they ask me. I very rarely get that question. I could make up a little card and be like, welcome to your new bag. These are the things. You could definitely do that. You could probably get them done by Vistaprint because that'd be easier. But I personally don't send them. Warranties. Warranty my bag. If somebody comes to me and they go, hey, this broke, I'm more than happy to fix it. Generally speaking, you have to offer a warranty depending on where you live. In Australia, you have to offer a 1-year warranty whether you want to or not. But that's if they didn't abuse the bag. So you can usually tell. If they send it back and it's mangled and filthy and all the rest of it, they're probably not really looking after it and that's why it broke. I will, however, still fix it for up to a year. I've only ever had it happen twice, and that was with Brooklyn, the large Brooklyn, the D-rings. They kept popping, like ripping the fabric because that little space can't hold the whole weight of the bag, which is also why I don't make Brooklyns anymore. It only ever happened with that bag, but I was obviously more than happy to fix it, so I used to just make a bigger strap connector, put it through all the layers, 2 rivets, and it fixed the problem. That's the only bag I've ever had come back. I had one of my friends, I made her a backpack recently and the zip stopped working weirdly, so I told her to send it back, but then she zipped it and apparently it worked again. So that's the only issues that I can recall. But I am more than happy to fix them, especially within a year, or if they've looked after the bag, or if they're a really good customer and something just broke. Generally speaking, you're going to know that they're not trying to rip you off. What I do not offer is a refund because it broke. I will happily fix it, and I will happily pay for postage both ways. All right, can we see my sewing room? We can, but not right now because I'm not in it. I'm in my throne chair, which I absolutely love. This is my reading chair I got for me and my child. It's very, very comfortable. I like it. But we can do my sewing room. I have done a tour of my sewing room. I think there's one up, although I have changed it again. I changed my sewing room a lot because I don't own this home. I'm a rental. So I can't put up cupboards and I can't put holes in the wall, and it makes it a little bit tricky to get the right layout without sticking a hole anywhere. So everything of mine has to stand on the floor, and you want it to kind of flow and get around everything. So I have rearranged it for like the 15th time since I've lived here in 2 years, because I finally got it the way I think it needs to be. It will probably change again if I get more furniture or a new something. So I recently actually took out 2 of the desks, and in exchange I've bought in a different piece of furniture and done a little bit of a rearrange. The downside with taking out both desks, I did have 3, by the way. So I had my computer desk and then a sewing desk for the domestic, and then I had on the other one, I just had my scan and cut. They were there because I was doing sewing lessons in my house on base, but COVID kind of killed them. So I don't need those desks. So I took them out and then I rearranged everything so it was going to fit again. But I will do another tour another day. What are Chicago screws and can they replace rivets? They definitely can. So Chicago screws are literally just a screw type rivet. So they usually have the screw and then they have like a nice outer. I sell Chicago screw style bag feet as well as the rivet ones. Most of you buy the rivet ones. Obviously you probably have a rivet press, but I do offer the screw in feet for those that don't. Yeah. So Chicago screws 100% can replace rivets if you don't have a rivet press, but they do take longer and they usually are more expensive. Rivets are the cheaper option. So, yeah. All right, I think I answered all your questions so far. Look at me go. Haha, all over it. Does anybody have any other questions? Another thing I'm just going to add. Production sewing is quickest. So, when I say that, you don't have to make the same bag in the same color. You could make a bag, a wallet, and a wristlet that's all using the same color thread. You pre-wind a whole bunch of bobbins and then you can just sew. That is quicker. You've cut out 3 items, then you can just sit and sew all 3 items. Doesn't matter what they are, but they've all got the same color thread. So you don't have to keep changing your thread, which saves a surprisingly large amount of time. And if you pre-wind like 5 bobbins, you're good to go. Bye, Laurie. Thank you for popping in. That's all right, Ella. Yeah, I hope my wrist heals soon too. I was going to make a harlot today. I was very excited about it, but I can't sew. I tried yesterday to sew and it really hurt, so that was stupid. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Definitely look into a website. If you have the opportunity, definitely do market so that people know you exist. People love to buy local. It's a thing. I have not seen a docket dart. It does feel better today, but it is still a bit sore. I watched you do the Denver without trans on the zips. Did you see the lining? Oh no, I think I read that wrong. I watched you do the Denver backpack without trans on the zips. I don't know what that means. Did you see the lining? The outer material. Did I see the lining on the outside? No, I did not. I recently in Trello showed you how to pull the lining all the way back and double sticky tape it down. Are there a lot of legitimacies when it comes to sewing business? Not really. You have to, legally, you have to put the country it's made and what it's made with. You need an ABN to start websites. In Australia, ABN's free. It takes like 2 minutes to sign up online. Textiles don't have a huge amount of legal things. So you are meant to put in your bag what it's made of and the country it's made. So made in Australia, made from synthetic product. You could just put that on a tag. You have to offer a 1 year warranty. And that's all I can remember that I had to do. There wasn't a lot. I get my fabric tags made on eBay from a guy who lives in Point Cook, Victoria. I can't tell you what he's called, but you get like 100 tags for $15 and it says whatever you want on it. I always use copyrighted fabric and selling it. You're not selling it as a legitimate licensed product. You're selling a bag made from licensed fabric. So I do it. I've never had an issue. I've been to markets. I do it online. What you'll find that I rarely do, and especially with Disney, Disney's like all over it. I never embroider a Disney character on a bag and then go, you know, Winnie the Pooh bag. But I am more than happy to do the bags with the licensed fabric. I've never had an issue. You're allowed to sell it so long as you're not trying to class it as a licensed product, because it's not a licensed product. You're just using licensed fabric on your product. That's pretty much it there. Do I have public liability insurance? I do, because I had the sewing classes here. I did the workshop in my house and I used to do markets. So I do have public liability insurance. If I didn't keep doing the workshops, I could let it lapse and it wouldn't matter. But if you're doing markets, it's usually better to get your own. You can get market insurance for like $95 a year or something. Mine's a lot more because I can use it every day, but I can use it out everywhere. I spent quite a lot of my insurance actually to be able to do lessons. I should really do another workshop actually. Tori, okay. Tabs on the zippers where you have to sew 5/8 of an inch down. I will get back to you, Maggie, about the Denver. Any thoughts for the next workshop? I'm thinking I might design another wallet and we'll do a wallet in the next workshop. Wallets are usually quick and they're fun and hopefully we would get it done. I will also be pre-cutting everything for everyone in the next workshop because I didn't realize how long cutting took. So the next workshop that I do, all your stuff will be pre-cut. And the reason that I'm going to do that is because I will order my acrylic templates before that. And that will help. I do Rotary markets and they offer it with your stall every month. They do. But as soon as you stop doing Rotary markets and do other markets, most of them require your own insurance. So when I was just doing Rotary, I just used their insurance for an extra $5 and I didn't care. But other markets, they require that you get your own insurance. So if you ever want to branch out to a different market, you will most likely need it. How do I dispose of my rotary cutter blades? Incorrectly. I literally throw them in my bin. Because my bin in my sewing room, I use plastic bags. I don't love doing it, but otherwise it gets really messy. I tried to just tip the bin straight into the other bin, but stuff floats down the road. So I literally just throw it in the bin. There's always enough fabric and scraps and paper that I've never had an issue, but I literally just throw dead blades, dead needles, everything just into the bin. You can get a sharps container. Lots of people get like a little cardboard box and put all their metal in that. That's fine. I don't really have space for it and I don't really have a need. I sew so much that I empty my bin every second day, maybe every third day. This week it's obviously different because I'm not doing much, but generally speaking, I am constantly emptying my bin because of all like the little scraps and salvage edge and all the rest of it. So I just throw it out. The cutting did take ages because of all the talking. There's nothing wrong with talking, but my mission is to finish whatever we're doing. So I am taking suggestions of wallets. So in Facebook, if you want to like send me some photos of wallets that you love, I might take bits that I like and create a new one. I use an empty pill bottle. There you go. Heaps of stuff. How do you drive traffic to my website? Okay. Easiest way to do it, start a Facebook page. So I've got a Facebook group, which is where you guys all go, hey, look at this stuff. But I also have a Facebook page where I go, look what I just made. And then I always put the link to it so they can click on the link and go straight to that product. Not to my homepage, because that annoys people. If you're clicking on the link, you want to go straight to that product. Then they can buy it. I also do Instagram when I remember. Instagram, I have got linked to my Shopify website, so you have to wait about an hour for it to upload, but I can go into Instagram, put up the photo, and then you can tap to add products, and then you can literally just tag the product in it, and people can click it and buy it that way. So I only use 2 media. I do not pay for advertising. I never have. I survive fine without it. I also go into, so in Australia, there's a Facebook group called Australian Handmade, or For the Love of Australian Handmade, or there's like millions of them. When I first started, I added myself to all of them. And then when I make something, I would post it and put the link. And that drives traffic. Now, whether people want it or not is irrelevant. Eventually people buy it, because most of my stuff is a one-off. I don't make like 8 wallets the same and just have like a stockpile. I'll make 1, maybe 2. With the banana ones, I made 2 because I had enough left over. But generally speaking, I will just make 1 of an item and then they will buy it. So it is a custom one-off, which is another selling point, because you can say, well, 1 of a kind, custom one-off, use buzzwords. But I only advertise in Facebook groups, or I used to. I don't even do that much anymore. My Facebook group, is pretty much the only place I go, hey, look at my new pattern. That, and if you guys watch the YouTube. And that's it. Mum, why are you posting the same thing 3 times? Oh no, there you go. That's the 3 different things. Then it's not the same. So one's my website. One there is my Facebook page, not group, and the other one is the Facebook group. I love Floozy. It's a good sized bag for younger people. So if you're trying to accommodate younger people in your sales, Floozy's a good size, because if you look at all the bags, I literally went to bag shops the other day to see what's going on. Literally, I was walking around going, oh, I don't like that. If you've had a close-up look of the bags that they sell in those shops, you would be absolutely horrified. I looked at one bag. It was on sale for $30. They have just put binding on the inside, but the binding is like when you buy a professional bag and they do the dust covers, that's what they made the binding out of. It wasn't even sealed properly. It was horrendous. So you are probably way too harsh on yourself about if you're ready to sell or not. I'd just like to point that out as well. It was atrocious. And it just like sewn through bits, and it's not great. Need top stitching. I can definitely help with that one. Recommendations for neat top stitching. Make sure you've either got a Teflon foot or Teflon tape, even if you're not doing vinyl, or a walking foot. When you're starting out with top stitching, if you're struggling, do a full 1/4 inch, which for me is the whole width of the foot. It's easier to watch the edge of the foot on the edge of the fabric rather than halfway through the foot. Because you're doing a 1/4 inch, it's less likely to slip off the edge, which means you are likely to get a straighter, nicer line. So if you're starting out top stitching, or if you're having trouble, nice long stitch length, 1/4 inch away, or the width of your foot. Use like a skinnier foot and then use the edge of the foot as your guide. That will help a large amount. Strumpet is a wallet pattern that I designed. I name all my things ridiculous stuff because I think I'm hilarious. Makes me happy. And where else in the universe do you get to use the word strumpet? That's why I did that. But strumpet is a wallet pattern that I designed. All my patterns, I actually have 14 patterns now. I was genuinely shocked. I'm like, oh my goodness. I only started writing patterns like a year ago. All right. Oh, there you go. Whippersnapper was my first ever pattern, actually. I love Whippersnapper. I still make heaps of them. I just heard I'm getting Tory mail today. That's awesome. Also, I tend to start, so I don't know if you guys buy a lot of online fabric, but has anybody else noticed that they always come in pink bags? This is why I chose green. I don't want to be like everybody else. And I'm actually going to eco-friendly bags as well. I found green ones, which I was so excited about. So I'm just trying to use up the last of my non-eco-friendly ones, and then from now on I will be using eco-friendly bags that are green. So if you take off all the plastic, you can shove them in your compost bin. You will be able to tell which one's which. I think, Helen, because you bought so much, you got one of the compostable bags, because they are slightly bigger than my current ones, which makes it easier to send foam and stuff. But I am trying to go greener, like, and better for the environment, which is also why I don't pack stuff in tissue paper or bubble wrap unless I absolutely have to. So that's just a side note for me. You could offer that in your business. Lots of people like it when you are environmentally conscious. So you could maybe put that somewhere. I haven't bothered yet because I'm not there yet, but yeah. There you go. I do also want to design a men's bag pattern. I'm just not yet inspired. And I tried to do some more of Temptress and I'm not getting anywhere because of this. I ship to the US, Canada, UK, New Zealand. I will actually ship anywhere. I've just got to go to the post office and ask for the prices and then add it to my website. But I am actually happy to ship worldwide. You just can't be mad at me about how much it costs because unfortunately that part is out of my control. I literally put what they tell me it's going to cost. Because I do it weight-based to try and help that out as best as possible. But I do ship to the US. It is already set up. US, Canada, New Zealand, and the UK are already automatically set up. So if you live there and you want some of my stuff, I can send it. That's not a problem. I haven't done the postage today either, so that's on today's list. A men's wallet with an ID window would be cool, but I still need to be inspired by the shape or something. I don't know. I'm not there yet. Okay, to take off. You're off. No, that's fair enough. Well, have fun, Cheryl. Thank you for popping in. We will discuss the men's pattern later. Does anybody else have any more questions? I am all ears. It can be about anything now. I think we've covered all the how to sell stuff. Mum, can you kick that gamer dude out, please? I like to share my information. There's no point in me bottling it all up and, like, not sharing it because that's not helping anybody. You are not necessarily my competition. It'd be different if you live next door and wanted to start doing bags and you were going to sell at the same markets as me. I would probably give you less advice, but I'd still give you some because I'm not that super greedy. I like to share my information. That's why I started these videos. You'll also notice I don't do a whole lot of like editing and fancy stuff going on because that's not why I'm doing them. I'm not doing them to, you know, show you my mad skills. I just want you to learn stuff. I like it when you learn stuff. So my child goes to daycare Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I pretty much only work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Some Mondays and Fridays I will obviously still do the postage for all the orders that come through. But I don't get a lot of sewing done or anything on a Monday or a Friday. And weekends before COVID was all about like family time. So sometimes now I will do like some pattern writing on the weekend if hubby's home and hanging out. But otherwise, I pretty much only work 3 days full time. I feel like I get a lot done in those 3 days. I also kind of slightly neglect all the housework on those 3 days, but it's fine. So this tattoo is the chain by Fleetwood Mac and all the instruments that I play. It hurt a lot to get, by the way. Like a lot. How am I so awesome? I don't think I'm that awesome, to be totally honest. I really don't. I don't know. I just chat with you. I want you to know stuff. I want you to be the best version of yourself. And this is the best way I know how to help that. I got nothing else. What happened to my wrist? So I was trying to unlock the child lock on my husband's car on my child's door. And I reached around to like grab the handle and I twinged something in here and it really hurt. And then it hurt to do this. Like even just grab it like that, it was really, really sore. On the other wrist here was all swollen for like 2 days. It's gone down for the most part now, but I still shouldn't do this. I can only kind of do this. It will get better eventually, I'm sure. Oh, I'm the first bag maker you followed. That's awesome. How do I deal with the no back stitching? So when I've got a full bobbin, my machine does not like back stitching. I don't know what its problem is, but it doesn't like it. So I do 3 holes and then I lift up the foot and go back to the first hole and then sew. And that's the equivalent of back stitching. It does the same thing. The first bag pattern I ever made was whippersnapper. I love whippersnapper. I'm also, actually, if you're on here and you have Facebook and you're not yet part of my group, I am going to do a Halloween competition. I have decided, I was thinking about it all last night. Basically, you can pick any of my patterns and do it in a Halloween-y theme, and we're gonna do like a thing. So start thinking about that if you'd like to join. And there will be like $100 worth of stuff as the first prize, and then second and third. And my child is going to help me pick, just so you're all aware. What colors of lightweight waterproof canvas? So all my waterproof canvas is lighter weight than the stuff in America. The stuff in America is 600 denier. Mine is between 210 and 300, depending on which one you get. Now, pink is 210 or 250 or something. It's lighter than the 300. I can't get pink in the heaviest stuff that I have, which is why I've got the other colors. I get a lot of emails saying, hey, it feels different. It is different. I have actually explained that on the website. I can't get it in the thicker stuff, but it is still all quite thin. All right. Do you ever make your crossbody straps any longer than the width of my vinyl? Nope. I find it's easy enough just to leave it as it is. If I'm not doing vinyl straps, sometimes I'll do the full 150, but vinyl I think is 135 centimeters or 54 inches long. That's long enough for a crossbody strap, in my opinion. If you've got it all the way open, that's pretty long. I've never had a customer ask for a longer one of a crossbody strap. So that just works for me. What is a Rotary market? So a Rotary market is just a market run by the Rotary Club. It's like a, I don't know, like a charity kind of a club thing in Australia. There's Rotaries like all in like every major town, and it's volunteers that help the community basically. So it's like a community market. They just call it Rotary. That would be the best way to describe it. This chair was $100 off Buy Swap and Sell, and I love it. It is fabulous. I made 2 cushions for it. I made one that is gold, and I quilted it with white thread. And then I made a white fluffy one because fluffy is glorious. And then I bought myself a $17 throw rug that was like an animal, natural kind of a color. And this is where we sit to read books. I love this chair. Love it. Okay. I love that I'm at someone's favorite channel. It makes me very happy. It really does. It means I'm actually helping you. That's what makes me happy. subscription boxes, they are coming. I can't write patterns at the moment. So until I can write patterns, I can't write a pattern for the subscription box. But they are coming. I bought the boxes. They are green. I am ridiculous. I bought green boxes. It's fine. Cost me like $150. I don't even care. They're fabulous. Not per box, obviously, but for the pack that I got. So they'll just be smaller boxes, and they will be coming with everything you need. You will have a digital copy of the pattern and then a physical everything in it. So that is coming. Each box will be different. I will only be doing 4 subscription boxes a year. So you get one every 3 months. I feel like that's more manageable if people want to join. Once a month is a lot of money. So I feel like 3 or 4 is more manageable, and then you would potentially get all the ones. And then at the end of that year, or maybe after every second box, I will release the pattern to everybody else. For those that are overseas that don't want to pay the postage, I will set up a thing where you can upfront maybe pay for the year's worth of subscription patterns or something. I will work out both options. They will come. But subscription boxes, there'll only be one every 3 or 4 months, like one a season maybe, I don't know. But they are definitely, I have been trying, it's just not getting very far. All right. International Business Networking Club. There you go, that's what Rotary is. I'll be working with Lula Eve to get custom fabrics for my subscription boxes as well. So she won't be offering it to people the same time that I buy it. It might be like a few down the road, or maybe it's a retired one or something, or I just get to go pick anything I want, if we're totally honest. She said I can have anything I want. So the fabric boxes will have custom fabrics in them, because I think that's cool. It's totally who I am. I'm a male bag maker in America. Love my videos. Well, thank you, Anthony. My question is, I have never used waterproof canvas for linings, but I watch videos all the time that do. Other than waterproof, what is the advantage? The advantage is that it doesn't need interfacing. So you're saving yourself money on interfacing and time for the ironing of it all. It also is easy to decrease. So if it gets creases, you can kind of just wipe them out. Whereas opposed to a cotton lining, once it gets creased, you really kind of have to iron it out. So they are the main benefits of the waterproof canvas. The one that I stock is also thinner, which makes the bag lighter. Because people on carry-ons and stuff, they think about the weight of their bag. People don't want a heavy handbag that's empty. So I like waterproof canvas for those reasons. Apart from, obviously, it's waterproof, so if you spill something, you can just wipe it out. But that's why, like, I do use a lot of cotton still, because sometimes I like patterns on the inside of my bag, but I do like, when I want solid colors, I will definitely use waterproof canvas over a cotton when possible. So there you go. Yeah, they're definitely easier to wash and wipe, especially if you've got like an ink stain. It's going to be easier to get out of that than cotton. I do still use cotton inside sometimes, because sometimes stuff just matches for me and I want to do it. But I'm also I'm going to try and work towards only doing waterproof linings. I'm just trying to get rid of all the fabric I bought for linings first, because otherwise that's wasteful. So I recently I haven't done it yet, but I've cut out a parrot wallet to kind of match the parrot trollop that I did. And I've used the last of a fabric. It had stains on it all over the place, so I cut out the pieces around the stains and then threw out the stain part. I do not use waterproof canvas for my bag straps. I tend to just use vinyl and then the fabric accent if I need to. Whippersnap at the bottom strap. Is there a correction? Because I can't figure it out. Oh, it should be 28 inches. If you downloaded an earlier version, it said 18. It's actually meant to be 28. 28 inches for the bottom and 36 for the top. I hope that helps. And the reason I picked those numbers is because I went online and looked up the thickest thigh measurement, and that's what I have done for the straps. So hopefully it should fit pretty much everybody. Obviously, I can't cater to literally everybody in the world, but the majority of people should fit within the parameters of the measurements that I gave. Where do you get waterproof canvas from and the weight? I'm not telling you who my supplier is because that is literally my business. But you can get it from me. And the weight is, I've got three weights. I've got 300 denier, 250 denier, and 210 denier. 210 is the light stuff that I got recently. I was trying to get the colors that you guys all keep demanding, and they don't come in the other weights. So I got it in. It is really, really good for card slots, but the lighter colors are a little bit too see-through. But the dark green, the navy, and the brown are all awesome. They're just like a really nice lightweight stuff. The white, pink, and yellow are a little bit see-through. So you can use them, just be conscious of it is a bit see-through. But I use them for card slots in wenches and in the strumpet. So that's what I use it for. You obviously don't have to, but, oh, and I use it in trollop too. In the pink, the solid pink one that all the instructions have, I use the pink super lightweight waterproof canvas for the card slots in that. So there you go. But I don't, obviously I'm not going to tell you who my supplier is because that is business, and Spotlight would tell me who their suppliers are. I have asked, even when I worked there I asked. Wasn't a thing apparently. Nobody wants to tell me. And they do trips over to China and they just go, we will buy all of that. So I don't have that advantage, and I still don't think I'm going to go into fabrics because I don't have space. I've decided I do not have space. I guess I am the minority. I do not like waterproof in the US. Waterproof, okay, so your waterproof canvas is 600 denier. Yours is twice as thick as mine, which is why you may or may not like it. Have I ever used iron-on vinyl on cotton? I have. I have melted it several times and I find it rips very easy, so I'm not a huge fan. So they are on my, yes, so my waterproof canvas is in, if you go to the supplies tab and then down to fabric by the meter, because I pre-cut it. I think we have a troll. Who's the troll? What? What did I miss? Must be famous if I have a troll. I have a troll. Somebody keeps disliking on my videos. I don't know why. If you don't like it, move on. But I get like thumbs down on all of my videos. It's so rude. All right. Cool. I think I've answered everyone's questions. I don't mind if you don't like my videos. I have no objections, but it'd be really cool if they didn't dislike them. They're not that bad, surely. I reckon it's like, I don't know, someone that has a personal grudge. I don't know. I don't know who that would be. I tend to not piss people off, I think. So Cordura is pinwheel cord, so it is not the same. No, Cordura is made out of cotton. Do I ever make bags from cork? I have. I like vinyl personally better. I do use cork. I did have some. I did sell some. It was all funky. I've still got the piece that I took out to make something, but then I sold it, so I don't know. I will get there. Ooh, you linked one of my videos on yours. Yeah, that's fine. I have no objections. If you guys want to share my love around, you go right ahead. Would you ever consider selling other bag makers' stuff on consignment? Probably not, because then I have to be really conscious about who I have to send money to. In saying that though, I am going to put Billy 50's patterns on my website. She's given me permission, obviously. I wouldn't just do it weirdly. She has health concerns and doesn't have time to answer all emails and stuff that she gets. So we are working towards putting all of her patterns on my website. And then you will be able to get all Billy's 50 patterns through me. and then I will just send her the money. But that's still, I've got to kind of keep up with that too. All right, Ella, well, thank you for popping in. But yeah, so Billy 50 stuff. The reason I don't do other people's stuff on consignment is then I'm still responsible legally for any kind of, like, if it breaks, they have to send it back to me. That's the other problem with that. You'd be better off. It cost me $30 American dollars a month to have a website. So if you break that down, that's less than $10 a week. That's really not that bad. It works out for me, depending on like the market, it kind of goes up and down, but it's between kind of $40 and $45 a month for me to have a website, which works out great. I can set up any colors and do it how I want. I just use a free theme because whatever. Having Afterpay on your website doesn't cost any extra. They just take a percentage once something is sold, but that's no bit different from PayPal or your credit card or whatever. So it all works out about the same. So if Billy 50 writes new patterns, they will also be going on my website, just so you all know. Oh, that's awesome. I'm loved by a 9-year-old. Oh. If he sews stuff, come show me in my group. But yeah, all right, I'm gonna go. I have to do housework because I can't sew. I've got to kind of trade one off for the other in case I can sew on Friday. But thank you all for popping in. If you do have any other questions that I haven't answered, you can just ask in Facebook. But I just thought this might be a good way to answer everything for you. So I will see you all around. Bye. Whoops.